now that I think about it. Maybe it's like fresh bread out of the oven, if you're a ghoul. Well, said Aunt Malva, I suppose I am simply surprised that anyone would mourn Silas. That's all. Mother, said Cousin Alver quietly. I'll speak the truth, Alver. I always do, no matter what it costs me. Silas was a strange, wretched, tight-fisted old man, with no proper affection for his kin or clan. He's not even in the ground, said Halla, abandoning her thoughts about ghoul diet. And he was very kind to me when I was young. And even kinder now that you aren't. Mother. In fact, Malva began, and then a guttural voice interrupted her. Into the pit, the black pit, when the souls scream and the worms coil. Halla seized on the excuse gratefully and rose to her feet. You've upset the bird, she said. The bird in question was a small finch-like creature that could have perched easily on Halla's smallest finger, had she been foolish enough to stick her finger in its cage, which she wasn't. It had a red beak and red eyes, and most of the time it sang a repetitive three-note song that went, tweedle-tweedle-twee. Occasionally, its eyes would flash green, and it would begin roaring in an impossibly deep voice about the end of the world and the screams of the damned. Great-Uncle Silas had been extraordinarily fond of it. 2 priests and a paladin had certified that it wasn't possessed by a demon, although they also all said that there was clearly something very wrong with it, and had recommended a great deal of fire followed by a great deal of holy water. Silas had instead put it in a cage in the dining room, because he was that sort of person. Hush, said Halla, pulling the tray with the bird's food out. It was built so that you never had to put your hand inside the cage. She took a bit of chicken off her plate and put it in the tray, then slid it back in. The bird leapt on it, cackling in a voice like a very old man heard through a drain pipe. Nasty creature, said Aunt Malva. Normally, Halla would have agreed with her, but she didn't want to give the woman any satisfaction. Silas was fond of it, she said. Silas was fond of a great many useless things, said Malva, giving her a look that left no doubt who she was referring to. If you'll excuse me, said Halla. I find I have no appetite. She stalked from the room, angry and shaken, and secretly relieved that she had a perfectly good excuse to flee from Alver and his mother. Cousin Alver had caught her on the stairs. She might have felt the smallest twinge of respect for that, except that she had clearly heard as the door swung shut, Aunt Malva saying, Well, go after her. You know that she is wrong, but you feel no need to smooth things over unless she orders you to do it. Halla, he said from the bottom of the stairs. He curled his hands around the banister. He wore large gold rings set with stones. The servants said he never took them off, not even to bathe or sleep, and Halla knew that the skin around them was always clammy with sweat. She could imagine far too easily those clammy, ringed hands on her skin. Her stomach turned over, and she was glad that she hadn't eaten much. Halla, my mother doesn't mean the things she says. She just wants what's best for you. She means every word, said Halla. It's just a shock to her that I'm not her nephew's penniless widow any longer. Cousin Alver gripped the knob at the base of the banister, not looking at her. You know she's always been fond of you. She's got a damned strange way of showing it. Yes, she does. His voice was so dry that for a minute Halla was forced into unwilling sympathy with him. However hard it was to deal with Aunt Malva in small doses, being her son was probably an entirely different circle of hell. Then he destroyed that instant of sympathy